Don People's Deadbolt. Let's talk about it. So yeah, I just really want to give my 2 cent take, man, on this free Larry Hoover concert that we had recently in LA with Kanye West and Drake. Now, first off, man, I want to talk about my man Larry Hoover, obviously the original OG, the founder of the Gangster Disciples, or should I say the GD's Growth and Development. It was turned into Gangster Disciples, obviously, after he left when everything was took away from his Black Panther roots, I should say. But, Larry Hoover is obviously a figure, major figure in Chicago history. And right now, the effort is to get him home, and have him, lend a voice to the streets and give some type of representation. But see, that was never the plan. It's not meant for Larry to come home and clean up the streets. See, because that's big business. That's the private corporations. That's the prison industrial complex. That's bigger than rap. So I would think that, and I know that Kanye West knows this. I know that Drake knows this. With them being, hip hop stars and in the top 1% of the game, obviously oaths and rituals and all that stuff is required. Let's keep it a bean, right? So they know in their heart of hearts that the powers that be don't want Larry Hoover to ever hit the streets and be able to organize young black males. That's just not what the game plan is. So it makes me wonder, was this concert really a free Larry Hoover concert? Or was this a Verzuz in disguise? Now, a lot of people will say, well, Donnie, man, what you mean? Cuz, what you mean Verzuz in disguise? They could have just went to Timbo and Swiss and, just had the Verzuz, you know what I mean? They could have did it anywhere. But see, this particular concert is obviously put together by these two with major sponsorships from Amazon along with others. With the Verzuz, you pretty much getting a bag from Verzuz and they bringing in all the sponsorships and they eating all that revenue. But Kanye and Drake found a way to do it and cut Timberland and Swiss out of the picture by doing it this way and not having it as an official Verzuz. But Kanye, he said once upon a time that, hey, I'm not going to be doing any of my old records or any of that, right? I find it funny that he did a lot of his old records. We also had merch that was sold at this event. Now, mind you, it was a lot of people there, man. Thousands upon thousands of people. So free Larry Hoover merch was definitely in the building. But come to find out, none of the proceeds from the merch actually go to Larry Hoover and the Free Larry Hoover Foundation. In order to, get him out and spread his influence. Even if he doesn't get out, to have his influence spread, with his philosophies now, I think that's big and money goes towards that, right? So the merch would have really helped, if he was able to get a piece of that. So I find it funny that, you're doing a benefits concert and the merchandise that was sold at this concert was not used for the benefit. See, now Kanye West, I give it to him. I mean, he's been campaigning for Larry Hoover for a while. I mean, he went to go see Trump, and I would have thought after he seen Trump and, he stood next to Trump that, Trump would have pardoned Larry Hoover. But that's, like I said, that's not part of the plan. To pardon Larry Hoover, where he's at now mentally, to lead the youth, to be that OG, that real OG that the hood need, not none of these fake ass celebrities or fake ass old rappers that still want to be young. Somebody who actually started this shit, and then to have a backing from some of the upper celebrities, right? would have been huge. But see, the powers that be, they don't have that in our plans. See, the whole thing is to keep us dumb as fuck, to keep us divided, to keep us split. BD versus GD. I know Larry Hoover turning in his cell by the bloodshed that the GDs and the BDs done had since he's been gone. And I believe all this was by design. Because even though, gangs have been around since the beginning of time, right? But Mr. Hoover wasn't the first to start a gang. And they really wasn't mad when Larry was really fucking with the dope and all that and causing the chaos in the street. It's when Larry really wanted to politicize the GDs and give the GDs a voice that they didn't have politically and start organizing black votes within Chicago that got him where he's at now. It ain't that he was causing mayhem and destruction. That's what they want you to do. See, the only time that you get knocked is when you do something they don't want you to do. So, Mr. West knew what was going on, that, you could do all the benefit concerts in the world. And as the FBI wrote back and responded to this situation, they said, hey, Mr. Hoover is one of the worst people in history, basically, and just really talking down on his name. So that lets you know where they stand about this. They basically say, okay, this is cute, right? But this is not going to get him out of this situation. He's stuck in this situation. And again, we've talked about this before. If y'all watch some of my other videos, J. Edgar Hoover said that the black people will not have a leader unless we manufacture him. What that means is that Larry Hoover was not manufactured and he didn't want to play the game. So then they threw away the key and put him somewhere where he can't even have sunlight but 1 hour a day. No human contact and all, no phone calls for real. And just crazy, right? They really got this man isolated from society for what he believes in and what he stands for. And not Drake or Kanye or none of these puppets that the industry controls will be able to ever change that. See, they'll pardon the Lil Waynes, the Kodak Blacks and stuff like that because they're not going to galvanize the people to want to change and to want to organize and do better and point out the incorrect flaws in the system. See, they're not going to do that. But Kanye and Drake obviously wanted this to be a cover for a Verzuz, a battle, a friendly battle to get their praise, to get their, their just due, the whole glit. You feel me? Like, it was just a worship fest. Kanye did a lot of his old songs he ain't never did, in a long time. Drake put on a hell of a show, and the proceeds and the benefits they're going to get. And see, this was just the start of their tour. This is also a start, I really think they're going to get an album done. I think them two are going to do an album together. And, this tour, they're going to take this concert and they're going to go all around the country and the world doing this concert. And I'm pretty sure some benefits went to, Larry Hoover and, the foundation and all that. But I think what Mr. Hoover would want is for these two very powerful influences in our hip hop game to be able to come together and really put change in the community of Chicago and other, impoverished communities all across the country. To put up rec centers, to put up after school daycares, entrepreneur schools, to teach trades again. And, it's a lot of different things that they can do to help the community on behalf of Mr. Hoover, even if he can't get free. But see, the thing they don't want to tell you is that they're all part of the agenda. And they will never break their oath, and their oath is what got them to where they're at, in the top 1% of hip hop, which is very, very hard to get to. So even though this might be clouded as a benefit concert, really to me, it was just a Verzuz and a worship fest. But y'all get in the comment box, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do y'all feel like this Kanye West, Drake, Free Larry Hoover benefit concert was really for Mr. Larry Hoover to get him out? Or do you feel like this was a Verzuz without including Timbo and Swiss and cutting the middleman pretty much out of the equation? But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all like, subscribe, y'all hit the notification tab every time I drop a video. Y'all share this content. I appreciate all my supporters. This your boy Don Peoples, Deadbolt, gone.